You're listening to For What, hosted by sisters Mary Beth and Loren.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're
having a hell of a morning.
We've been at this already for hours.
Our IT department tried to switch it up with the audio.
We tried to make it
source
better and easier
for our poor producer.
Yeah, and ended up literally for an hour trying
an actual hour.
Every combination of every
splitters,
adapters, devices,
long mics, short mics, iPad video.
So we're exhausted already.
We're like starting off in a mood.
Yeah.
So buckle in.
Yeah. Buckle up.
You buckle in. Buckle yourself in.
I always say, buckle up, buttercup.
Every elder millennial says that.
Oh, elder millennial. And what are you again?
Technically, I'm Gen Z.
Okay.
And I'm so glad we're talking about this, by the way.
Yeah, I always get really confused.
Because
there's never enough review.
Extremely important to point out the differences in our generations, because while you and I do speak the same language, there are things that just simply don't make sense to you about the world.
Oh, certainly.
And that makes sense to me because I'm a young one.
Yeah.
Just because I grew up with the internet as a teenager in my formative years. So you're on the cusp of millennial and Gen X, which Gen X is after baby boomers. So Gen X is like 40, 50-year-olds.
Okay, so I'm on the cusp of Gen X and millennial.
And I'm on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z. 96
Okay,
is like
so
the cutoff.
millennial is Gen Y. That's what we called it back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then at some point they changed it to millennial, and that has forever confused me.
So actually, that's an interesting point. Is you are Gen Y. But maybe people born in the 90s, like 90 to 2000, are millennials, because
That feels
that's
truer.
its own specific brand of generation that's very different from people who grew up in the 80s. Because people who were born in the 90s, especially like 93, 94 to 99 or 2000, at work,
Whoa, that was a major shift.
a student that was shadowing me told me she was born in 03, and I was like,
How are you here?
excuse me? In 2003, I was in first grade.
I had already graduated high school.
And in 2003 was when one of my favorite teachers, Miss Martin, who was also Bubba's first grade teacher, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then she got married to like a car mechanic, and like that was kind of a cute little like love story moment. They were like dating, and he would bring her like little presents, and
Oh my God.
I was watching. Anyway, we had a Christmas party where we made gingerbread houses or something, and you and Bubba came
I do remember
to my
that.
Christmas party.
Yeah.
And
were
that made
home.
me feel so loved.
Aww.
Because I, like, pretty much everybody in my class had siblings that, like, went to school with them. And I'd be like, yeah, I have a sister and a brother. And they're like, well, we never see them. And I'm like, yeah, because they're old.
You have two sisters, actually.
I have siblings, is the point.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we never see them. So
Yeah.
you're making it up. Like, people... I remember literally
Children are
kids used to
terrible.
bully me about making up that I had siblings, and like I brought pictures in, and it was like a whole thing, and then you guys actually came. So for a multitude of reasons, that was really healing for little me. I know, it was really cute.
I always wanted to just scoop you out of school to hang out with you. I hated that you were in school when I was home. I'm like, ugh, can she just hang out with me? I know. So I was like, let's go get her. Let's go up there. And yeah, that was one of those rare times that Bubba and I were at home at the same time.
Bubba is our brother. I have nicknames for my siblings except for Hannah, because hers is easy to say.
She's very serious.
Justin and Mary Beth were difficult names for me to say when I
Phonetically.
was a young one. So I call her Mimi.
Because Mom called me Mare, and you got Mimi from that.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's funny.
I've never called you anything else.
Yeah.
To say Mary Beth feels foreign to me.
It's so weird. When you introduce me to your friends or other people and you'll be like, this is my sister Mary Beth, I'm like, ugh. Okay.
You're like,
Anyways,
I'm Mimi.
I'm Mary Beth to you. That was weird that she said that. Excuse her.
And then my brother is Bubba. Like,
Yeah.
I've never called him Justin.
Yeah.
And he and I have never talked about that, but
Yeah, that's really funny.
I'm like, you are Bubba to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've always called him Jay or Bubs. But
okay.
when you're around, I call everybody by your names.
Thank you. My vernacular.
Yeah. I'm like, sure, whatever.
Hannah, I guess I used to call her Nana, is what Mom
I
said.
don't remember that.
But
She
she's not a
wasn't
Nana.
around.
She really wasn't. She was always reading the Bible.
She was at college, is where she was.
Yeah.
Probably reading the Bible at Dallas Baptist University.
Oh my gosh.
What do we want to talk about today? Do we want to talk about your work story?
We can,
No, we'll save that for another time.
because it is topical.
It is such a great segue into the topic.
Little do you know, this episode is actually organized.
Yeah. We actually thought about this
We
one.
actually have segments today. Well, not segments, but I'll tell my story. Well, it's not my story.
Let's be clear. Her stories are very rarely hers.
Gossiping is important.
Gossiping,
And it's the man that said,
yes.
don't gossip.
And why? Why did he say that?
Because they didn't want the women in the villages to talk about
Literally do this. Literally do what we're doing.
their experiences and be like, oh, my husband also beats me.
Yeah.
We should leave him.
Also, I don't like that, or that bothers me as
Women
well.
influencing other women is such a
Threat
threat
to men.
to the male ego.
There's a lot of
which
threats
is
to the
so
male
fucking
ego.
crazy, because then it's like, so you realize we're powerful then. So you're scared of me. That's really what you're saying.
Exactly.
But yet you want to be a big man and provide and protect, and like only you can do these things because like you're the smarter whatever. But you're too scared for me to talk to a girlfriend,
Listen,
to
I
be
think
influenced by her.
let's start here.
Okay.
Okay, because we've already talked about this a little bit this week, but this is like burning inside my veins.
Yeah.
The roles that the patriarchy has given men and women, men to be protectors and providers, women to be supporters and child bearers. I need that to be sliced, burned, eradicated completely, because I heard this recently and I was like, oh my fucking God, I knew it. I knew there was something that just irked me from every time I heard this, like, men are providers and protectors, but don't you need a man to protect and provide? What are you going to do without a man to protect and provide?
You want a big, strong man who can protect you, or do you want a tiny little guy who can blow away in the
Which
wind?
one do you think is a better protector and provider, a big man or a little man?
And
I'm
that
like,
question has legitimately been posed
literally, I've been asked
within
that
the
question.
last year.
And I'm like, I have no words. But here's what I heard the other day was actually women are, okay, you know how men are always like, biologically, men are protectors and providers, la la la. And we all just go along with it because we've just fucking heard that for so long.
Because we've always heard the male narrative,
We have.
which is I provided and protected for the women in my village.
The male narrative is central in the patriarchy. And I would like to decentralize that as much as
What
we
else
can.
was going on? The biggest mindfuck brain blast was when I was maybe in middle school or high school, and I was like, what was going on in China during this?
Right.
We're only learning about like so I went to Christian school.
Ooh, learning a very, very small part of history.
So when I say we, I
version.
mean me and my class of 20.
Yeah.
We're learning history based off of like centered around Jesus. So like only learning about
Right.
Israel and Italy
The
and
Romans.
yeah, exactly, the Roman, which all of that is
Right.
pertinent history.
Pontius Pilate.
And then then we like touch on the Huns
Right.
and the Mongolians.
Yeah.
But that's it.
And there was like a Mayan ruins at some point.
Maybe, but like, but did those all happen at the same time? So a big like mind fuck has been seeing. Drew will sometimes show me these videos to activate me, and also to teach me because I have these questions. I'm like,
there's a pretty legitimate and serious gap, especially in we went to the same Christian school, so. They
like,
did
when
not
did
actually
these things
teach
happen?
history and science as it was.
Like in this time period, here's what was going on in Europe.
Right.
Here's what we know about Africa. Here's what was going on in Asia. Here's what was going on in the Americas. Like, why don't we get to know all of it? Why do we only learn European history, really?
Right. Well, that's because we're descendants of Europeans, and we're the elitists. Okay. Let's go back because I don't want to get too off track before I forget. What I heard recently was that women are actually the biological and first protectors and providers. Okay? Because we're literally protecting the babies in our bellies.
With our actual body.
With our actual biological makeup. Like we're not saying, I'm a protector.
I'm going to make a big stick that I can throw at people and get them so
that's
they can't
just
get you.
Naturally what our bodies do.
Right.
And then also when we have the baby, and we're able to nurse or, whatever, we are providing.
However anybody's fed is up to the woman.
Right, now. But back then, like, let's go on the male narrative of we've always been providing okay? So back then, they only had breast milk, and that's what we're talking about. From the beginning of time, women were the first protectors and providers. So I just want to slip that into the narrative 100%. A little bit, okay? And just disrupt this whole idea of men have always and were first and are most and best at protecting and providing.
And who protected and provided for the men when they were little babies?
How were they even born if not for the woman's body to protect them and provide for them? So what I'm saying is the man's role that he has been deemed in the patriarchy is so much more than protecting and providing.
Yes.
We can take off those hats as this is only for men. We don't have to say that anymore. We can say, in what ways do women provide and protect for other human life?
And as women, when we are choosing a mate or looking at a potential partner to live our lives with, let's look at more than how they provide and how they protect.
Right. If they will win in a fight or not. How likely?
Are they big and strong or are they tiny?
Are they aggressors or are they passive? Are they beta and alpha? I hate that shit.
Because in your experience, you went for the alpha.
I did.
And here we are.
Here we are, deconstructing all of culture and society. You see how that? Point A.
See how we got there?
Marry an alpha. Next point, deconstructing the patriarchy. Yeah, and I don't enjoy that all the time, but okay, so now let's segue. So this has been on my mind and our minds lately, just this whole the roles of men and women. Right. And women are trained to watch how a man will lead through the center lane of life, be the main character of the story. Head. Yeah. Be the head of the house and lead all of society. And we come along and we support and we kind of dip in and raise the children on the side.
The head can't turn without the neck.
Oh, God. Hate that you remember all these things.
Because somebody
No.
literally told me that recently. Like, yes, he leads, but, you know, the head can't turn without influence from the neck. And I want to be like, why can't you have your own heads and necks?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be the same?
I just want my own. I just want to be. I want to exist in the world and be validated and acknowledged and revered. Like, and that's actually
Right.
what I want for all of society. I want all humans to be able to have a space to exist with reverence, and like not a male voice or a white voice or something is going to be more influential. I would like, if I designed a society and I could have it my way, there would be room for all voices, and not to say we're all talking at the same time and we all get to make the decisions about things, but every person is respected, and it's like I can
a
listen
woman's
to you.
words and opinions would hold the same weight as a man's.
Exactly.
If like the credentials are there and
Exactly.
they're the, whatever. We're not saying like just because you're a woman you're automatically going to be
Correct.
whatever. It's just like a woman who has more experience or more
Expertise.
in a certain area, her opinion and what she has to say does not hold the same weight as a man who has less.
Right.
And that is a fact.
Right. And that I would just like to see that it's not, there's no discrimination based on the way a person looks or what is between their legs. Like, that is just crazy to me. The discrimination needs to happen regarding their education, their
Right.
experience, their expertise, their training, you know,
And
things like that.
This is like specifically politically in places of like influence or like management, corporations, like whatever, administration, where we're having to make decisions based on other people. The voices need to have equal weight.
Yes.
Or like, you know, starting businesses or whatever, like let's have women also start as many businesses as men. And let's support them just as much as we do the men. Let's have them be able to have access to the resources that the men do. So that way there could be businesses that are started by women.
I know. And like if we started from scratch, I feel like that could be done. But what we're having to do now is untangle all these psychological conditioning, all this psychological conditioning that we don't even pick up on, which is obviously what we're doing here, is just talking about every time we become aware of something,
Right.
which to me this week was this whole idea of
provide and protect.
Yeah, this is the man's role. And I'm like, there's got to be more. Like, I'm
Right.
looking at my son and I'm raising him and I'm like, yeah, there's so much fucking more to him than his ability to provide and protect. There's just
And, like,
so much.
And you also want your daughter to be able to provide and protect herself as
herself.
well. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I know, I'm like, it's starting to like create a lot of dissonance.
let's let the police provide and protect.
Yeah, let's let them do a good job at
And
that.
in the relationship world, let's like see what else we can do. Like be respectful.
Yeah, and let's all show up like, and I've also been noticing how so many men, specifically those alpha, what would be deemed alpha men, are just living their lives. Like, they don't give a fuck about that's the rule over here and this needs to be done here. They're just like, I wake up, I want to run, I run. I wake up, I don't want to do that, I don't do it. I do this, I go to work.
It's literally Beyonce's If I Were a Boy.
Yeah.
I'd wake up in the morning, do what I wanted and go.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I were her.
I'm actually trying to channel more of that energy of like, I am a fucking main character in my story, which in some aspects I really, really get that, and that's 100%. But there's all these other aspects that I'm like, I don't do that. I literally come in and just kind of watch, and like a very quick example is me and my best friend and some other people. We were all
Your best friend.
Yeah, my other one, my male best friend.
Okay.
We were out to eat and we were about to go up and order. It was like, where you go and order. And one of the workers was like, if you could just step behind this line before you order. And I was like, oh, hey, Matt, you need to step behind this line. And he's like literally, and I'm not doing that. He's like, I'm not doing that. And I was like, Yes, because nothing was happening. It wasn't busy. Like, there was no reason for us to move literally one step behind this line, other than that's the rule. And so in my mind, that's one of those things that I noticed. I'm like, yeah, why do I even immediately go into, oh, really? Okay, yeah, let me move my whole party back. And he is so used to just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
Was like,
he's like, I've already assessed the situation. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to stay
like,
right here.
that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately dismissing it. And I was like, oh yeah.
I love to do that.
I know. So I need to practice that
good.
more. I just need more of that, like, and I do that a lot. There's so many irrelevant things.
You do.
But still, it's like, it's in there, ingrained in me. So, okay, next segue.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Our blooper reels are so funny, by the way. I can't
They're
stop watching them.
really funny to us, and I wonder if they're funny to everyone else.
Okay. Our podcast is going live tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow.
So at the time that we're recording this will come out, in like a month or two after
a month.
they're released. We're freaking out.
We're very excited.
Because we've been watching the videos and we think it's good. So
we don't want to be disappointed.
We are nervously anticipating some feedback from people who don't know who we are.
That is such an important statement.
Because
the people who love us are going to really enjoy it. I think they're going to really enjoy it. The people who know us and don't necessarily love us are going to specifically rip me a new one. I know it because most of the people who know me and don't necessarily love me are Christians.
Concerned and very, very, very concerned for your soul.
They're very concerned about my salvation, which is clearly
and what I just want to say
not
is
Christian.
I have appreciated being able to have a space to just talk about how we feel and what we think about things that happen to us and share it with maybe some other people who may experience a similar thing, so they can feel like they're a part of a conversation because maybe they don't have people to talk to like we do.
Exactly.
And like, it's important to talk. It's important to gossip. It's important to talk about things that we encounter, so that way we can be like, oh, this happened to a friend of mine.
Right.
Like, that's more information for me to take, so that way I can learn more about my world that I'm not super safe in because I'm a woman.
Yeah, and I do think it's really important to hear and share stories, to be heard and to listen,
Totally. To
listen
be
to other
validated,
people.
to be like, okay, so like, what would your reaction be to this if
Exactly.
you were in this situation?
Like the whole exchange of community and connection is really, really important. And my hope is that, because like when we listen to podcasts and stuff, we feel like they're our friends, these
100%.
hosts. And so I'll say sometimes, just for brevity's sake, I'm like, yeah, I have a friend who did this or that. And it's like, do I know how I met that person in person? No, but like, this is the community. And so we're bringing these stories because we want conversations to start. We want to hear from every single person who's listening and that thought, oh, that reminds me of this that happened to me, or this, or whatever. We want to hear and we want to share.
Right. Like, this happened to me. This is how I felt about it. Like, I want to hear what you guys think. Or like, this happened to me. I don't even know how to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say? Or
yeah, and in no way. And the thing I love about this, which I'm sure I've said this, right? I'm not a professional here. I am not, I don't have my professional hat on. I'm not coaching. This is literally just me in real time processing whatever the fuck is happening to me in life, whatever phone calls I got, whatever encounter I had with men, women, friends, and then I'm just talking about it. Like, this is literally how it is to be my friend. So I'm not trying to change the world with, you should do this and do that and da-da-da. If we pick up and we talk about, I mean, when we, whether we're being recorded or not, we will always solve the world's problems.
100%.
We're always doing that. We're like, well, if everybody would just listen to us, why did they not ask us? We could have solved that. But really, most of that is in jest, unless it's legitimate and actually can help. Mm-hmm. So we have some things we want to test. So some things have come up this week. I'm going to start with my particular story, and then let's hear about your story, and then we'll go back to what we're going to practice and have everybody. What do we want to say? We want to workshop it, right?
Workshop.
That's what we're going to workshop. Okay. So we have a really fun one that I'm excited to share. So I don't know if I told this story. I don't think I've told this story, but a couple months ago, this is the highlight of my summer. Okay. My daughter's 15. She's learning to drive. So she was driving, and I had just gotten off the phone with a new functional doctor that said that they would take out my IUD for like $100 because I don't have insurance. And so I was like, oh my God, that's fucking amazing. So I was like really excited. My daughter gets in the car and like starts driving, and she's like, what are you so excited about? I was like, oh, I just heard that I can get my IUD out and it's not going to cost me that much and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what an IUD is, right? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, but like, why do you have one? And I was like, so I don't
Because I don't want to have more of you.
Yeah, I'm done with children. Like, what do you mean? So I don't get pregnant? And she's like, yeah, but like, how would you get pregnant? And I'm like, wait, what? Did you think I haven't had sex since your dad? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
This is a lot to talk about while you're behind the wheel for the third time in your life.
Yeah, I know. And so I'm starting to laugh, and I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, no, you what? What? And I was like, and so she's like, I mean, who? And I would go, no, like, we're not going to get into details, but like, you can assume that if I was dating somebody for a while, that probably happened. And she goes, all of them? To which I was like, do not slut shame me.
No, literally, she told me this, and I was like, not you getting slut shamed by your 15-year-old daughter who wears... Doesn't matter.
Anyway. Very cute clothing. She knows what she's doing. So I'm like, okay, first of all, no, not all of them. And second of all, if I did, I should. Anyway, so that was that conversation. And then she was like shutting it down. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. And I was like, okay, cool. So then it's been like a month and a half or so. And this was now this last week. And so she started talking about like, just different people she knows who are kind of starting to be sexually active and things like that. And I was like, hey, did you tell your friends that you found out that I had sex since your dad? And she goes, no, actually, I had forgotten that until you just brought it up, and now I'm mad at you. And I was like, oh my God, you forgot? I go, that was the highlight of my summer.
You're like, I haven't stopped thinking about it.
I know, I was like, I think it's hilarious.
I've actually been looking for opportunities to talk about it more.
So at that point, she was sitting in my room on the floor, and I'm in my bed just talking to her, you know. And she's like, I know, but it's just like, I'm just confused. And I'm like, what's confusing? And she's like, I mean, like, when? And I'm like, you do realize I have a life outside of you when I'm with you? And she's like, no, I don't. I was like, that's very clear. Yeah. I'm like, but I do. And she's like, so like during the day? And like, where? And I'm like, and she goes, in this bed? I'm like, we're getting real specific. And I go, you know, you were conceived in this bed. And she's like, oh my God. And so.
Is that also the bed that you lost your virginity in?
It happens to be, which I don't want to admit that because I probably should get a new bed. It's old.
It's your sex bed.
My sex bed. It's the only bed I've had sex in.
That's amazing.
I need a new mattress.
That mattress has too many memories.
Anywho.
She's tired.
Yeah. So that segues into talking about sex before marriage, because she had said something like, I am not doing that, until I get married. And I was like, I highly recommend that you have sex before you get married. And she was like, why? Which she's heard this before, but with teenagers, you'll notice that you have to keep repeating yourself, even though they have heard it before, but it's like the first time because their brains are changing so much, I guess. I don't know. She was acting like she's never heard it. I've definitely said this her whole life, but, and so I was able to tell her, like, we've talked about this. You learn so much about another person and yourself when you have sex. It's their maturity level, how they can talk about things, how they handle that, hey, I actually didn't like that. Or if they get all butthurt and like shut down and like avoid you, that's something you need to know. It's
good information.
It's really good information, because either that's something y'all are going to be able to keep bringing to the table and like getting used to talking about, or that person's just going to shut you out.
Right.
How is that going to, how are you going to do that forever?
Right.
So I just told her, I was like, you need to learn how you feel with sex and be able to communicate that. And that takes time to like practice talking about.
And everybody like should have their own metric as far as like when to have sex in a relationship.
Of course.
Like, I liked that I didn't until I was really with somebody that I really loved and felt safe with, and like we had been talking about it like for months before we did actually end up having sex, and like that was important to me to feel safe and be able to like honestly communicate. Like, I'm worried that because you've had like us having sex is going to tie us together in a way, and I'm always going to think about this even if I end up being with somebody else. Like, I was able to genuinely share fears like that when we could talk through them together and whatever. Other people may not have that emotional of a connection with sex.
And
so they do what works for them.
I think that spectrum is as vast as humans themselves. What I think is vital, and this is what I told her, and I this is something I wish I had been given permission to consider, and that is, women especially, both men and women, boys and girls, need to learn their own bodies. They need to learn self-pleasure, masturbation, what feels good, what feels pleasurable and relaxed and comfortable. And the reason this is so important for them to know this just by themselves is so that when they are with a partner, they will know when they have reached the precipice of discomfort or a no, okay? So we talk a lot about consent in culture now, which I love. I love that conversation. But which
is crazy that it has to be a conversation and even something to talk about and define and
it is,
whatever.
But that goes back to our country was founded on Christian morals. And Christianity generally says abstain from sex. So they just
unless you're married and then...
Right. But for teenagers, you shut the conversation down completely. It's just don't do it. So there's no acknowledgement of your body is going to want to do this. For girls, your body's going to get wet. For guys, your body's going to get hard. You're going to want this. And that's awesome. Here's what you can do with that, right? And I've heard different things, and they're like, you can masturbate, guys, but just don't think about girls when you do it, or don't lust. And I'm like, we were talking about this the other day, and I was like, oh no, you can absolutely fantasize about people's bodies and whoever, celebrities, a woman, whatever you want, as long as you don't objectify them. You do not make them a piece of meat that is for your pleasure only. That's dehumanizing. That's the part that's like inappropriate and not acceptable, right? But enjoying somebody's physique or whatever it is that turns you on, that's great. That's fine. And you keep it here, right? You don't go, oh man, I was thinking about you last night. That's objectifying. That's dehumanizing another person, right? You're looking at them as a sex object for your pleasure. That's not okay. We need to talk about this stuff, right? So I was telling my daughter, you know, when you learn your body and you understand this feels good to me and I feel safe with myself. Hopefully you get to a point where you feel safe with yourself and you feel comfortable doing this. Then when you have a partner who's touching your body or giving you pleasure or whatever, and it crosses some line, you know, oh, there's a line. Oh my gosh, because I know what comfortable and safe and relaxed feels like. And now I'm in uncomfortable.
I don't feel relaxed. I
Yeah.
don't feel
I'm
safe.
tensing
I don't
up.
feel...
Yeah. And that's not normal for me. When I'm experiencing pleasure, this is how I feel.
Right.
Now I'm feeling this way. So at a minimum, you can say, can I pause for a second? Let me pause here. I just need a minute to like feel this out and see what's up. Because I know what pleasure and relaxation feels like, and I've stepped into a different category right now, and I just want to take a minute. That's consent.
Yeah.
That's actually what it is for the person giving it. If you don't know your body, if you don't know what pleasure feels like for yourself, you will not be able to actually consent. You won't be able to say, you know what? Because everything feels uncomfortable. Everything's new. It's even the orgasm, even the feeling of being aroused. If all of it's new in that moment, you're just going to chalk that up to, and by the way, this is my experience, I just chalked it up to, oh, well, it's supposed to be uncomfortable and I'm not supposed to know because I've never done this before. That is such a fallacy, and it's a disservice, I think, to women specifically, women's safety, and then also men and shame and knowing how do I navigate this with a girl who doesn't know her own body? How do I know what no means? Because she may go, oh yeah, that's fine.
Right.
In the moment, but then later be like, that was horrific, right? Because she didn't know actually what consent feels like in her body. So anyways, my whole point is, my personal belief, and this is based on my experience and sex positivity and a lot of education in that, is we need to teach our children, our adolescents, how to have safe pleasure with themselves so that they have a foundation and a grid for safe pleasure with others. So
I didn't have that growing up, but because...
I don't know anyone who did, by the way.
Yeah. Or I think just people, maybe like, if their parents just never even talked to them about something, maybe like they talk with their friends about it and then they, you know, do whatever they want. And then, but they don't have any shame associated with it because they were never told one thing or another necessarily.
Yes. Like a neutral thing.
Because I was able to have such good conversations with my husband prior to us consummating.
Doing it.
I did feel very consenting, and I had a wonderful first time.
Yes.
Even though I didn't really know my body, I was getting to know my body with him.
Yep.
Which, whatever.
Yeah, that's great.
But I had a really good first experience, and because I felt safe.
Yes.
Because I felt like at any point I could tell him to stop or no or whatever. I felt safe with him as a person. Like, I had been around him in an arousal state and said no enough times to be able to trust that he is going to take my no for a no and whatever.
He can manage his own arousal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need to be responsible for him, so I can pay attention to myself. And
love that for you.
Obviously, it wasn't, I guess maybe it's not obvious, but it wasn't like that every single time because I still have had some conditioning of like my role as a woman, as a wife, is to be a vessel for my man.
Yeah.
I actually had a friend who told me something that she had heard about a women's Bible study when we were in college, or when I was in college, whatever. It was like post very young women who were married post college.
Okay.
And they were in this Bible study together, and they challenged each other to not say no anytime their husbands initiated sex. To practice being like giving and submissive and like loving them the way that they want to be loved and whatever.
Practice bypassing your own body.
And at that point, like, I was very, not very religious, but like going to church and whatever. And I was like, that's wrong. Like, no.
That makes me so sad.
So that's not good. That's not good messaging.
No, it's not. And, you know, again, sexuality, there's such a spectrum, right? If I had any tools, any knowledge or anything on how to have sex, what safe sex feels like, and it's not just like use a condom and, you know, get checked regularly. It's literally like emotional safety. Can you say no? Will that be honored? You know,
can I say, let's do something different, and they not freak out or whatever?
Or shut down, or like have like a little male ego pity party, you know. I didn't have any of that, okay? But if I had, I think I would have had a lot of sex. I think I would have had a lot of sex because I'm a very sexual person. I love sex. And yeah, and I just shut it all down. I shut all of this down inside of me because I was raised to abstain until marriage. And then I was told I was going to have like such a blessed sex life if I did that, if I was like the purest, and I was the fucking purest. And I did not have a good sex life in my marriage. It was horrible. Horrible. From the scale of just simply I didn't want to or didn't enjoy it to rape. Like the whole gambit. And because I was raised thinking I have to.
Right.
I have to give my body if he wants it.
Yep.
And even if I said no, it was not, it was like throwing in your opinion, but at the end of the day, he's the leader.
Cents, but it doesn't
But
matter.
my body belonged to him. So there needed to be a different foundation for looking at your body, you know, and I think you had enough, I don't know where you got it from, but you had enough agency and autonomy to just say, I mean, my body is mine, so I'm going to do what feels best for me. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't even have that. It was on or off. So it was off unless I was married, and then it was on. And then I couldn't turn it off then because I was married.
You're not allowed to.
And that's just so not what I want for my kids. I just don't want that, especially for my daughter. I do not want her, and for my son either. Like, I love the men who are like, and I've had partners that are like, I am not interested in having sex with you unless you are 100% into it.
Right.
And that was foreign to me up until a certain point. I was like, oh, huh. So then I had to figure out what 100% felt like.
Right.
Because I didn't fucking know at 30 years old.
It's really important. Like, I feel in a lot of marriages that happens where women just, even if they're not religious necessarily, like, I think it's even just societal. That,
Absolutely.
Like, if you're married, that's
we're
just what
property.
you do. And you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't have to. Some methods that I have seen, like just scrolling through my Instagram from various sex therapists.
I love them.
Because I'm interested to know, because I wasn't really given a great sex education. So like, I'm a lifelong learner.
And we're always changing our minds and growing and evolving.
And that's important. So obviously being able to talk about like your natural libido with your partner and like this, I'm a naturally high libido or I'm a low libido. Like if you're on birth control, if you're on
Yes.
antidepressants, if you're
I
on
mean, if
any
you've
kind
been
of
depressed, if you're stressed,
any kind of
like,
emotional crisis,
literally,
like you're gonna have a lower libido.
Yeah.
So one, having a partner who is understanding and can take care of themselves as you fluctuate through your interest in sex, like that's extremely important. But two, being able to communicate in the moment, this is how I'm feeling, like on a scale of 0 to fuck yeah, I'm at a 1.
Yeah.
But come talk to me in 2 hours. After I think
it.
about it for a little bit, or if
Yeah.
we have some like sexy banter,
Yeah.
or if you like do something cute, like
Yep.
maybe I'll feel good in a couple
Yes.
hours, and maybe I'll be at a 10.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. You
Love that.
have placed a bid.
Love it.
Um,
And I'm going to entertain it.
I'm aware that you're interested.
Yeah.
And I'll see what it goes. Or today was a shit show of a day. I'm feeling deeply unwell. Whatever. I'm at a negative 75.
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely not. Like, don't even try again. Do not
Yeah.
come knocking at my door.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for coming to me to express your interest and whatever, but
Yep.
not today.
Love that you are interested. Do not want to be touched.
And having a safe partner that doesn't continue to pester after you tell them.
Doesn't pester, doesn't pout, doesn't bring it up again like another time. Oh, well, you said no last week, so you can't.
But like, you need to be able to have that trust where it's like, my negative 75 genuinely means absolutely not. But you can trust that I will 100% let you know
Yes.
if there's even a possibility.
Right, so there's a lot of self-awareness that's required in there,
Yeah.
and honesty. Like, honesty seems to be so difficult for so many people.
Yeah.
Like, just being real about it. I mean,
Saying what you actually think.
yeah, I mean,
Which can sometimes be difficult to articulate because you
Yes.
may not even know what you actually think.
Right.
But like, paying attention to how you feel instantly when somebody says,
Yeah.
I want to have sex with you.
yeah, and then
Or-
giving yourself and giving your partner and letting your partner give you time to like sit with that for a second.
Figure it out.
Maybe it's 15 minutes, maybe it's 5 hours. Like, just let me sit with it until I know something more and I'm thinking about it. But then,
Because, put a pen.
yeah,
Women are a slower, it's like preheating an oven.
right.
Whereas men are like microwaves in terms of like getting to the heat.
Yeah,
I just made that up.
they can be. Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah, generally
100%.
speaking, that's
Generally
typically
speaking,
how
that
it
is,
is.
that's typically how it is. So, so it would not be reasonable to assume that your partner gets horny at the exact same rate that you do, regardless man or woman.
Yeah.
So, but you need to know for yourself so that way you can communicate it to your partner. Like, hey, I know I'm a person who needs, I need playful banter. I need some kind of interest in
Yeah.
me other than my body, and then I can be interested in
Right.
having sex with you. But you just coming at me and licking your lips and smacking my ass and saying, let's get in there, that's not going to do
I'm
it for me.
dry.
Yeah. I'm dried up and I want to change my locks.
Yeah. I want you out forever. Yeah, it is really interesting. And I do think it takes practice, right? And this is why, going back to, I highly do not recommend waiting until marriage because of this. And here's the deal. Like, my daughter was like, well, I might still wait or whatever. And I was like, actually, that is fine to wait. But having these conversations is really important. Even if you're making out, even if you're fondling and like things like that.
Totally.
The conversations is what is so important, to be able to
Exactly.
practice that dialogue and that here's how I'm heard, here's how I use my words, here's how I articulate what's going into my body.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually what I mean. Whether somebody has sex or not, I actually don't care about.
That's a great explanation and a
Yeah.
good caveat to that, because that can be a lot to
because I mean,
for a young person.
Yeah, if you're young and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have sex before I get. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I literally mean what you did too. You know, that's, I think, maybe the best case scenario for a first time having sex is, you know, it's with your best friend, somebody you feel emotionally and psychologically safe with, somebody you have a rapport with, and you have a history of them respecting your no or respecting your boundaries.
Right.
That's it right there.
Right.
That's awesome. If you don't have that, oh my God, you don't need to go out and have sex with anybody. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
It's literally developing this skill set of being able to notice what's in your body around arousal, articulate it with clarity to a safe person who then can respect you back and do the same, right?
And this is something too where like men take a lot of power or use their dominance and the conditioning that women are under to create a false sense of power and use women for sex. And this is what I think in a lot of marriages makes women feel suppressed and like leads to, okay, well, my body isn't really my own. What else isn't my own? Like, what else can be dominated? What else, whatever, to where like my emotions, my feelings, whatever is not really what's most important.
Right, my choices.
Right. Which is like what we were talking about, I think maybe in our first episode or second episode where we're talking about like women are more likely to have autoimmune diseases and cancers or just any type of psychological issues because we are not able to process or talk about or
actually be. We can't be. We have to be a certain way.
We don't have any free agency or freedom.
Yeah. I think we should skip your work story today.
Okay.
Bring that up. Let's bring that up next time or another time. This is why I hate planning them, because we don't get to it or it goes its own direction and then everybody's like, wait, what happened to the story?
But what's funny is this is what you wanted.
That is, you're right. This is what I wanted. And you were like, I don't want to talk about that. And I was like, well.
No. I was fine to talk about it, but I actually had a lot more to say than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, because I think you thought I was going to talk about something else too.
Yeah.
But let's segue into what we want to workshop this month/week/year.
Do we want to do that? We're at 50 minutes.
Yeah, I do. It won't take that long.
Okay.
It's 10 minutes. So if you haven't listened to episode 1, go back and listen to it and get through the first 15 minutes, and then story time happens after that. You need to hear that story for this to make sense. But anyways, I saw the Predator at a football game this week, and I had like a visceral reaction to this guy who assaulted, didn't hear no. There was no consent, but he did not stop.
And even when you confronted him via text following the incident, he had zero accountability.
Yeah, he put it on me.
Zero
I'm
responsibility.
so sorry you took it that way.
Zero awareness. Oh, that's weird. Okay.
I'm sorry you misunderstood and took it that way.
Didn't even say I'm sorry.
No. I don't think so.
So,
anywho.
obviously the human language means nothing.
Obviously words mean nothing. So I saw him and I was having a visceral reaction and I was like, I'm not going to do this because obviously we live in the same town and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like,
Like you're going to see him for the rest of the football season.
I am.
Ideally. I mean, not ideally.
Not ideally.
Excuse me. Realistically.
Yeah, thank you.
Yikes. Freudian slip. Or whatever.
No, it wasn't a Freudian slip.
People say that all the time.
A Freudian slip. A Freudian slip means it's what you really wanted.
Oh.
And
Clip.
time. Okay.
Do I still have food in my teeth?
Ignore her. No, I can't see it. I don't have my glasses on.
Okay.
Okay, so saw him at the game, I was shaking, which I hate. I'm like, I don't like that somebody else has that power to affect me in that way. So I'm like, we need to wrap this up. I need to figure out.
And prior to this, like you thought there might be a chance that you would encounter him, but you didn't know to what degree. So like you were kind of trying to prepare yourself.
That's right. I was already workshopping ideas with my best friend, Matt. And I was like, okay, let's run through some scenarios that might happen.
Best case scenario, he's not there.
Yeah, best case scenario, he's not there. Worst case scenario, he literally comes up and talks to me. Middle of the road, we're sitting near each other, or something, you know, whatever. We
make eye contact. He's
Yeah.
looking at me.
Yeah,
He's there.
We ran through all these, okay? Me and Matt are going through these. And Matt is the opposite of me. He is extremely logical. He is not dramatic in any way. Everything was very like, okay, let's
He's
take
also
this.
not a predator.
He's also not a predator. That's really important to know. He is a white male. He is not a predator, though. And so his first scenario that he wanted to run through was, you know, say he comes up to me and, you know, just says, hey, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry about what happened. And I was like, okay, that never even crossed my mind that he would say that. And so Matt's like, well, say he says that, you know, then you could just say, hey, thank you for your apology. I would appreciate it if you would just stay away from me and my family. And I go, oh my God, nope.
Wow.
Not going to do that.
That's so civil and
logical and communicative.
And when you told me this, I was like, listen.
Yeah.
The context of where the environment that you're in is important to take note of, but you don't need to be loud to express your visceral disinterest in having any type of interaction with him ever again. He violated you.
Right.
For several minutes.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
Half an hour, yeah. Yeah.
He tried to dominate you physically.
Yeah, you don't walk up to somebody.
You don't get a thanks for apologizing.
No, you don't.
You don't get any kind of civil response. Because, and the thing is like, you don't want to come off as a crazy, erratic female.
Yeah.
Because that's what
it will be.
That is a justified reaction.
Right.
But
it's an appropriate reaction to what happened to me.
But then society's like, oh,
look
there
at
we
her.
go.
She's
Another
so
crazy
unhinged.
feral woman
Oh my
making
God.
a scene,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. You should fucking make a scene.
Right. He touched my body without consent. Like, get the fuck
Not
away
even
from me.
without consent.
With a hard no.
Express no.
Decent. Yeah, so Matt runs out, and I was like, I will not be saying that. In fact, I certainly will not say thank you about anything. I don't give a fuck. Not saying thank you. I was like, at best, I think I could give a thumbs up.
Sorry, like, that's so performative. He had ample opportunity.
It doesn't even matter.
During and after.
Yeah, there's no scenario that I would even entertain that. Okay? So Matt's like, oh, okay, well, what would you say? And I'm like, I can't say thank you. I won't do that. I maybe could give him a thumbs up. I may just walk away if he talks to me. I think the best I could do is like ignoring him, because what I want to do is be like, get the fuck away from me. Why would you ever think that you can approach me, right? That's like 100%. What's in my body, imagining all this.
Right.
So I took my workshop with Matt and thought about it a little bit, and I was like, no, all I can think of is just walking away like that, because I don't want to make a scene necessarily, because it's like my kids are involved, you know, they're around and things like that. And so I'm like, I don't know. But I also am absolutely not going to absorb this and swallow it myself. Like, this is not mine.
Yeah, so when it happened, when you were there and he was in the same environment as you, you're shaking.
Yeah,
like,
I'm shaking.
You have energy inside of you.
Right, so all this is like, I'm feeling so threatened. My body is like on high alert. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something. So I leave that game. And I know this will happen again, where I will see him.
Nothing ended up happening.
Nothing happened, yeah. It was fine. And I was like, okay, good. That's great. But what do I want to do if our paths ever cross in any way? And so I literally slept on it, because I'm like, ignoring is not me. That's too passive. It's me swallowing too much. It's my body having to process that shaking, and that's not enough for me.
Right.
I need an outlet. Mm-hmm. Yelling and screaming, probably also not me. I'm not going to really do that. So I need something in between. Anyways, I slept on it, and then I woke up the next morning, and I was like, I've got it. And I called you, and I said, guess what? If there is any encounter, and now I kind of hope that there might be, I will do this. If he walks up to me, eye contact, no eye contact, even maybe if he walks past me, I think I might just go, I'm going to hiss. Because for my body, it's a release. Mm-hmm. And then also...
The message is clear.
He doesn't understand words, but that message is so clear.
Listen, this man has... One thing is clear.
Yeah.
Words coming from a woman's mouth mean nothing to him. So to try to find the perfect set of words to express to him that you never want him to be anywhere near your person ever again, you cannot trust that he is going to understand that.
Right.
What he has shown you is he is a feral caveman beast.
Yeah.
Who literally thinks you're a ribeye steak.
Yeah.
You are the antelope to his whatever.
Yeah.
Tiger.
Yeah.
So you have to speak his language in order for him to understand. Nothing is more feral or just like caveman, animalistic, primal than a...
Yeah, so I'm going to put my hands up, literally, bare
your teeth, show your claws.
Yeah, and then the volume.
And give a sound.
There's all different kinds of sounds you can make with a hiss.
You could bark.
I know, I could
bark
growl too. I could like literally, and then I was thinking, we were talking about it, and I was like, oh my God, that's totally a tool in my tool belt. I could have used in that moment with him on the couch, I could have been like, ooh, ooh, ah, 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 and I could have gone crazy on him.
It's confusing.
It's disorienting.
Wait, what's going on?
But you know what it's not?
Nothing kills a boner more than a 40-year-old woman doing what you just did.
Acting like an animal.
Ideally.
Okay. We hope.
Surely.
The chances are more likely that would be
Listen, if he's not going to understand a no, we're going to resort to all extremes.
Right. And what... oh shoot, what was I going to say? Because I said, this is my favorite part of the hiss or this feral response is it's not a clear black and white rejection or humiliation, which would then enact his ego to a potentially dangerous result for me, right? So this is more like instead of taking the no route, we're taking the disorientation, confusion, like what is happening right now?
Because that is not a response that he will like have a
playbook for
automatic response to give back at. Like a hiss or a growl or a bark.
Yeah, like what if I had just started barking at him? If he like put his hands on me and I said, hey, please, like we're not doing that, so don't touch me, don't do that.
And then he did it again, he go,
and I go, if I go, arr, 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 arr,
and then never say any words as you're running out of his house, you're barking.
Arr, arr. Listen, every time I do that, the dogs around me do this. It works.
Animals understand.
They understand something
it's a distress
is
signal.
off
it's
here.
A distress,
Yeah, so what I should have done is I should have started barking at him while I run and go get my stuff and get out.
On all fours. Run down his stairs.
Yeah. Anywho, that's what we're workshopping now, and we'd love for anybody who maybe has done that already, or if you want to try it.
Like, I could have done that when that man stepped in front of me in the refrigerator at the gas station. I could have hissed at him, like, excuse you.
Yeah. I have hissed at people before. I've done it very quietly, just like in passing, if they like did something that was like really like rude, I would just go, it's just a little hiss of like, no.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. And I love that. I love the cat for that reason. There's like levels of the hiss. So tell us what you think.
Try it out.
What do you think? I'm going to try it. Like, I'm actually excited now to try it. And if I did that in public and there was like, did you just hiss at him? I would be like, yes, he's a predator. Thank you. And that's it, right? We really don't need to say much. I don't need to sit there and like have an argument.
No.
Nobody needs to validate me.
That's not your responsibility.
No. I'm just here to make it very clear you don't need to approach me.
Yeah.
I think that'll do it, right? That would do it. If I hissed at you,
surely
you would know. Whoa.
At the very least, it's confusing enough to be like, that's not something I
Let's
need
stop
to encounter
this
again.
train right here. Back it up. I love it. So there we go.
Gosh. Okay.
We'll try it out.
Hiss at someone you love. Or don't. Not
Why are
who
you saying
don't
the
love.
opposite of what you mean today?
I'm trying to...
Okay, I guess you could like do like
Practice.
a little, what is that called? A test run. Do a little test run on someone you love and see how they respond.
I'd be like,
What are you doing right now? Perfect, exactly what I want. I just need a
okay,
pause.
good. Great.
Yeah,
Just want to get that
awesome.
out.
Now let me do it in real life. I can't wait. I've definitely hissed at Matt before.
Yeah.
I've done that. Like he'll say something stupid and I'm like, he's like,
Yeah.
Anywho, it works, but let's try it in the wild. Here we go. We love you.
If today hit home or lit a spark, drop a review, subscribe, follow, like it, post it, tag us, and send it in a group text.
We're so grateful you've spent time with us today. If you want to keep this podcast alive and thriving, there's a link to support us below. Even $5 says, keep going, gals.
Until next time, look for opportunities to deviate from the default and don't forget to ask yourself, for what?